Welcome back to Pop Flashback. I'm your host, Rick Smalls, and today I'm joined by Lost expert Tina Boucher to unpack one of TV's most talked about shows.
Hi, everyone. Excited to be here.
Tina, Lost kept viewers on the edge of their seats for 6 seasons.
Oh, yeah.
And even after all these years, fans are still dissecting its mysteries and debating its meaning. Today, we're going straight to the source.
Okay.
The creators themselves. What did they have to say about the show's true meaning?
Well, it's really fascinating. The creators have spoken about how Lost wasn't just about, mind-bending plot twists or unanswered questions.
Right.
It was ultimately a story about human nature, the choices we make, and the connections we form.
So let's start with one of the biggest mysteries. Jacob and the Man in Black. Who were they? What was their deal?
They were twins, born on the island centuries ago. And their destinies became intertwined with the island's fate, with Jacob becoming its protector and his brother transforming into the smoke monster, known as the Man in Black.
You're telling me the smoke monster was a dude the whole time? My mind is blown. But why were they fighting?
Their conflicts stem from a fundamental difference in their views of humanity. Jacob believed in the good of people, while the Man in Black saw them as corrupt and destructive.
Okay, so a classic battle of good versus evil with the fate of the island.
Right.
And maybe even the world hanging in the balance.
Exactly. And it's into this huge cosmic struggle that the survivors of Oceanic Flight 815 stumble.
Right.
Becoming pawns in a game they don't even realize they're playing. Think about it. You're on vacation, your plane crashes, and you're suddenly caught in the middle of an ancient battle between two powerful beings.
Oh, I'd be freaking out.
Yeah.
Speaking of freaking out, the island itself was full of strange happenings, time travel, healing powers, and don't even get me started on the polar bears.
Oh, yeah.
What was the deal with all that?
Well, the creators explained that the island sits on a unique pocket of electromagnetic energy. Imagine it like a powerful force field that can warp reality, cause time shifts, and even heal people. Remember Rose? Her cancer went into remission when she arrived.
So that's why some characters experience time jumps while others seemingly aged slower.
Yeah.
It all makes sense now.
Yeah.
But if this energy is so powerful, wouldn't people want to control it?
Of course. That's where the Pharma initiative comes in. These scientists came to the island in the 70s, fascinated by its potential. They built those strange stations all over the place, hoping to harness its energy. But tampering with such a powerful force has consequences, right?
Right.
The Pharma initiative learned that the hard way.
So messing with the island's power backfired. What happened to them?
Well, let's just say that the island has a way of protecting itself. Think of it like a living organism reacting to those who try to exploit it. The Dharma initiative's attempts to control the island ultimately led to their downfall. And, this idea of unintended consequences ties back to Jacob and his brother, too. Jacob's attempt to contain his brother within the island's energy is what transformed him into the smoke monster in the first place.
Wow. So everything is connected.
Yeah.
And this powerful energy source at the heart of the island, the one Jacob was supposed to protect, that played a crucial role in this whole saga. Right?
Absolutely. The creators called it the heart of the island, a source of immense power, even likening it to the spark of life itself. The consequences of it going out were dire, potentially a global catastrophe. Protecting it was the ultimate responsibility of the island's protectors.
No pressure, right. Okay, so we've got this epic battle between good and evil, a mysterious island with mind-bending powers, and a group of plane crash survivors caught in the crossfire. But before we get to those survivors, let's talk about the cork. What was that all about?
Here's where it gets really interesting. The creators explained that the island served as a cork, containing a powerful evil, symbolized by the Man in Black. It's like the island was holding back a force that could potentially wreak havoc on the world.
Hold on. So if that cork popped, things would get really bad, really fast, like end of the world kind of bad.
That's the implication, yeah. It raised the stakes of the entire show. And remember, Jacob believed in humanity's potential for good. He believed someone could inherit the responsibility of protecting the island and preventing that catastrophic event.
Okay, so now I'm dying to know. How do the Oceanic 815 survivors fit into all of this? Were they just random victims of a plane crash, or was there something more to their arrival?
That's a great question. And it's something we'll dive into after a quick break.
Hangry.
Hangry. Totally. And we're looking at their online shop today, and it's pretty wild. Got like everything you could think of, from t-shirts and sweatshirts to candles and stickers, and they've got, all this stuff with this really fun, food-themed kind of spin on it.
Yeah.
It's interesting how they've taken what's a pretty negative emotion and spun it to be something.
To be something good.
Yeah, like something relatable and fun.
Welcome back to Pop Flashback. Before the break, we were talking about Jacob bringing people to the island. Why would he do that?
Well, as protector, Jacob had this crucial responsibility of finding a successor, someone to take on the mantle of protecting the island.
So he was basically like a cosmic headhunter.
You could say that, yeah. He orchestrated events, nudging people towards the island, hoping they would prove worthy. He believed in the good of humanity, even when it seemed flawed.
And that's where our Oceanic 815 survivors come in. They weren't just victims of a random plane crash.
Yeah.
Jacob brought them there, hoping one of them could be his successor.
Exactly. And remember, each of those passengers had a past, a story, reasons for being drawn to the island. Their experiences became a test, pushing them to confront their inner demons, make difficult choices, and maybe even redeem themselves.
So the island was like a giant cosmic crucible, forging these characters into something stronger.
That's a great way to put it. And don't forget about the flash sideways, that whole other layer of the story that had people scratching their heads. What did you make of that when you first saw it?
Honestly, I was totally confused. At first, I thought it was an alternate reality. Like, what if the plane hadn't crashed? But then things got even weirder. What did the creators have to say about it?
Well, they cleared up a lot of the confusion. The flash sideways wasn't an alternate reality. It was more like a waiting room. A waiting room in the afterlife created by the characters after they died.
Wait, so the characters were dead the whole time? Was everything that happened on the island just a dream?
No. The events on the island were very real. The flash sideways came into play after each character's death, no matter when it happened. It was a place for them to reconnect, remember their lives, come to terms with everything they went through before moving on together.
Okay, so it was like a cosmic reunion spot. A way for them to find peace after all the chaos and drama they experienced on the island.
Exactly. It highlighted the powerful bonds they formed, showing that those connections transcended even death. And, the creators emphasized that those relationships, those emotional journeys, were what truly mattered in the end.
So it wasn't just about the mysteries or the sci-fi elements. It was about the people, their connections, and the impact they had on each other.
Precisely. The show explored themes of faith versus science, free will versus destiny, redemption, and the importance of community. But at its heart, Lost was about the human experience.
And what about the ending? Did the creators ever explain what the final scene in the church meant?
It's open to interpretation, but many believe it represented the characters finding peace and moving on together in the afterlife. They had faced their demons, made their choices, and found solace in each other's company. It was a beautiful way to end the series, don't you think?
Absolutely. It was a fitting end to a show that challenged us to think about life, death, and the connections that bind us.
It's amazing how a show that started with a plane crash on a mysterious island could delve into such profound themes and leave such a lasting impact on viewers. What stands out to you the most about Lost all these years later?
For me, it's the characters and their relationships. They were so well developed, so flawed and relatable, I felt like I knew them, and I was invested in their journeys. And the ending, even though it was ambiguous, it gave me a sense of hope. It reminded me that even after we're gone, the connections we make, the love we share, that's what truly matters.
I couldn't agree more. Lost was more than just a TV show. It was an experience. It invited us to think about the big questions, the mysteries of life, and the power of human connection. And it reminded us that even in the face of chaos and uncertainty, there's always hope, always something to believe in.
Well said, Tina. And that's our deep dive into Lost for this episode of Pop Flashback. We've covered a lot of ground today, and I hope you've enjoyed this journey through one of TV's most iconic shows.
It's been a pleasure exploring the mysteries of Lost with you all.
And to all you listeners out there, what aspect of Lost still resonates with you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
And remember to like and subscribe so you can get our next episode. Catch you next time.